everybody, I'm Joshua.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're the Bearded Bible Brothers. Did you know that recently we got a chance to attend the National Religious Broadcasters Conference, and we had the opportunity to meet Israel's first responders, and we want to share with you their efforts in serving the nation of Israel.
That's right. You know, the Jewish people have had a tough past 3 years, ever since the invasion of Hamas on October 7th. And they've been fighting a seven-front war with Iran, and it's really affected civilian life with constant rocket attacks and even cluster bombs.
Magen David Adom is the Red Shield of David in Israel's National Emergency Medical Disaster and Ambulance Blood Bank Service. That's a lot to say. What does it mean? Well, it may be shocking for you to know that this is not a government agency. It's actually a non-profit, and it is the only service mentioned by the Knesset to respond to emergencies. Now, this means that they rely on donations from people like you, Christians and Jews, to support their lives.
Now let's hear from the personal experiences of Uri Shakam, who's the Deputy Director and Chief of Staff of Magen David Adom, as well as Yasmin Mazawi, who is a paramedic who goes into some of the life and death situations on a daily basis that Magen David Adom deal with. Here's their interviews now.
Like many in Magen David Adom, I started up at the age of 15. I was, each 10th grader in the state of Israel has to do a community service.
Mm-hmm.
So they told me, listen, you can go and help other kids do their homework. And I was saying, listen, I'm not doing my own homework. Why should I go and help others do their homework? And they said, listen, you can also volunteer for Magen David Adom. And I said, it sounds cool. Ambulances, sirens, going fast. So it sounds great, especially for a 15-year-old boy. But you know what? After like a month or 2 months, I just fell in love with the mission.
Wow.
When you see the face of a person who you just provided medical attention, provided comfort, or just help in any way, this is something that goes into your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I want to continue doing this.
This is the 911 in Israel. 24 hours, 7 days a week, trying to be in every spot in the country in order to get to patients as fast as possible, because every minute matters. Unfortunately, we see lots of emergency cases that are very difficult to see. I'm talking about accidents, car accidents, emergencies with kids and young people, elderly people. Throughout the war, we were also on the forefront from south to north. Everything.
The war with Iran on June 2025 was something new.
Mm-hmm.
For 30 years, since Gulf War in 1991, Israel wasn't attacked with ballistic missiles. It's one thing when you have a rocket of several dozens of TNT falling in the neighborhood than having like 1,000-pound ballistic missiles. Each and every Israeli has to go into the shelter. Magen David Adom has to go out of the shelter. But you know what? They provided. Because they have compassion in their heart.
It's based on volunteers. 35,000 volunteers and in 350 employees, I guess. Like for every one employee, we have 10 volunteers.
We had to man the entire 2,000 ambulances. We had to make sure that we have enough equipment, that the teams are trained. So Magen David Adom was stressed to its limits. But this made us understand how much the support that we get from Christians in the States is important.
Y'all don't get any government funding for Magen David Adom? It's all from donations?
It's all from donations. Tools and the equipment we use cost a lot of money. The vehicles, the ambulances, motorcycles, and the cars that we use, they cost a lot of money. Medicines that we have.
If it wasn't for the Christian communities, we didn't have ambulances. We didn't have ambulance stations. We didn't have medical equipment or the ability to train not only our people, but communities around Israel.
Some people think, you give to ministries and stuff and that money never gets to them. It goes directly to y'all guys. It really helps.
Exactly. Samaritan Purse was generous, so generous to give us 42 ambulances.
Oh, wow.
Now, I just check the numbers. Only the ambulances donated by Samaritan Purse and Harvest Fellowship, they saved the lives of 25,000 Israelis. 25,000 Israelis. Now, we are speaking about 25,000 injured and sick people. What about their families?
Yes.
Okay, so those ambulances directly influenced at least 100,000 people, if not more. What about generations to come?
Yes.
If somebody was saved in Beersheba or in Tel Aviv or in Haifa from a ballistic missile, thanks to an ambulance donated by Christians, think about generations to come that were saved thanks for somebody who is thousands of miles away just caring for Israelis and doing this.
We work all together, Jews, Christians, Muslims, all together for one goal of saving lives. This is our mission at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know, when we get to patients, we never ask about gender, race, color, background, religion, anything. We treat every patient, no matter who they are, just because they are human.
And that should be. There shouldn't be politics. There shouldn't be the question of ethnicity when it comes to saving lives. It shouldn't be a question of, oh, can they pay for the services, or can we afford the equipment?
Never ask.
Because they're human, they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect.
And compassion.
And compassion. And I just want to thank you, Yasmin, for all that you do. It's very sacrificial, and I know how traumatic it can be working day in and day out, seeing the kind of situations you see. It could scar people emotionally, it could make people grow callous, but you're just radiating with love and compassion, and it's just amazing.
The light of our Heavenly Father that
That's
I try all the time to spread, even in the emergency cases, and to my patients as well.
And I know you share that with them, and I know that's going to change their hearts, not just change their physical situation that they're dealing with.
Amen. Thank you.
When people in the States support Magen David Adom, they actually support the resilience of Israelis. Because Magen David Adom is the backbone of Israeli resilience. So it's not only supporting an organization, it's supporting Israel.
This is a call to action because we can directly help the Jewish people. We can directly help save lives by donating to a cause that is not political. It's not any kind of manipulation, or it's not pro this or pro that. It's just about human decency. And that's what you guys are about. How can we, or our viewers, get a hold of Magen David Adom? How can they donate? How can they find out what y'all are doing?
So go now to savinglivesinisrael.org, savinglivesinisrael.org. Learn about the organization. Learn about the diversity of 35,000 Christians, Jews, and Muslims working together for the sacred mission of saving lives. See what the needs are and support as much as you can, because your support means everything to us. This is something that is beyond and above any grateful word that I can say here.
The Bearded Bible Brothers is an outreach of Zola Levitt Ministries. Visit levitt.com to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, The Levitt Letter, or call 1-800-WONDERS. Check out our resources we have available on our online store. You can also visit beardedbiblebros.com to subscribe to weekly digital updates through email and watch our online videos and content. Your donations and love gifts help us continue our mission to bring the gospel to the Jew first. We thank you for your faithful support.
The need in Israel is great, especially for the IDF, Israel's Defense Forces, in which a majority of the country is serving actively or as reservists for the IDF. This means when they are away risking their lives to fight terrorists, no one is at home working and supporting their families.
Next, we're going to hear from Bram Moss from the Friends of the IDF, the FIDF. Bram heads up a new department of the Christian Friends of the IDF that reaches out to believers in Yeshua to help support and provide the needs of the IDF soldiers. They even help the wounded and disabled soldiers who can no longer provide for their families.
Then you'll see an interview with Pamela Azaria, International Resources Development Manager for Chimes Israel. They are a nonprofit group that helps to provide counseling, care, resources, and training for children and adults with mental and physical disabilities.
That's incredible. Well, first, here's Bram Moss with the FIDF.
With the Friends of the IDF, we actually started about 40 years ago by a group of Holocaust survivors who saw the importance to basically start an organization to help the IDF soldiers. They saw the suffering of the IDF soldiers, but also their families. Where we really step in is that PTSD treatment, so the mental health treatment, and that's something that we've really seen rise since October 7th. A lot of the soldiers, they come off the battlefield, and it's wounds that you don't see. Right? It's those wounds that they seem fine on the outside, but on the inside they're completely broken and they can't function in life anymore. So since October 7, we actually started a new PTSD treatment and built facilities for them.
Wow.
So we have 7 mental clinic facilities around Israel, about like 10, 20 minutes away from a soldier. And so they get to go to like a clinic right around the corner from them. That is something that Christians can step in to support.
Yeah.
You know, that need is overwhelming. So many reservists were called up.
Yes.
So there were actually a lot of American Israelis
That's right.
that chose to go to Israel
Yes.
and to fight. And a lot of them have actually come back now,
Yeah.
but they're suffering from PTSD.
Yes.
And we are helping them here on US soil.
Counselors in Israel
Yeah.
who have told us that 75% of the country is dealing with PTSD. Today, I've spoken with people who said, no, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Everybody in some form or manner has trauma, emotional trauma, mental trauma from dealing with the constant rocket barrages and terrorist activity. But these soldiers in particular, they're seeing the most heinous of war crimes.
Yeah.
What they go through to avert civilian casualties is insane, but it puts their own lives at risk, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because they kind of have to see like, hey, is the coast completely clear?
Yeah.
You know, are there no civilians? And often it's for the risk of their own life.
Yeah.
And that is impacting to see. Multiple generations are in the IDF serving at the same time, you know? So you can imagine what kind of stress, also pressure it actually puts on the entire society, you know? So, and that is something, another thing that we are doing, you can adopt a brigade. So, and what that looks like, families that are serving, and some, they are coming from low income families.
Yeah.
And even though the government, they pays them, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
So, and that's where we step in. So we give them financial aid, we give them food vouchers.
Yeah.
But we do it in such a way that it's not shameful way, you know. It's like a credit card that they can just use at like the grocery store.
So they don't feel ashamed of having to
No.
take a handout.
No, you know.
Yeah.
So, and that is really rewarding, and that also gives dignity to
That's
them
right.
in that way as well, you know. And it's amazing how we can help in so many different areas.
Yes. How can people get a hold of Christian Friends of the IDF?
Yeah, so we actually have 2 websites.
Yeah.
So one is blessisraelsoldiers.org. So that's one of them. And then the other one is fidf.org. So Friends of the IDF, fidf.org.
We have a choice whether we want to join our military or not. It is mandatory in Israel. So every family in Israel has someone who has to go and join the IDF. I know every one of you have asked us online or in person, how can I give to Israel? How can I really make a difference? This is a direct action that you can be a part of that will literally save lives. I'm here with Pamela Azaria from Chimes Israel, a nonprofit. Can you share with our audience what y'all do?
We help people with disabilities. We help ensure that they have quality of life, dignity, and inclusion in society. The way we do that is we have 27 centers throughout Israel, and we serve people from ages 6 months to elderly. Anyone who lives in Israel who needs our services can get our services, and for free. The people with disabilities are the invisible victims of the war because they're less able to communicate, they're less able to say what they need and what they're going through. When you discover your child has a disability at a very young age, it's a very overwhelming situation. Just to have a child is overwhelming at first, but then to find out your child has disabilities, it's scary.
Yeah.
So we created a model where under one roof, a child with disabilities can get diagnoses, therapy, daycare, healthy homemade food, and the parents get guidance from us of how to continue the rehabilitation at home. They're amazing places. It's about 3 adults to 1 child. No one has ever seen such great care. It's amazing. A lot of the parents are dealing with trauma from the war, from October 7th. A lot of our parents are soldiers in the reserves, and they're going through stuff. And when you're going through stuff yourself, you can't really take care of your child the way that you should.
Yeah.
We've created a program where we go into the families' homes. We help each family individually with whatever their issues are, communication, transitions from playtime to bedtime to meals, the way the house is configured, everything they need. And it's been a miracle program. One mother said,
that her husband had been not able to interact or communicate with their child at all. And the social worker that came in taught him how to connect with his child, and it made such a huge difference in their life. We have come up with a number of very innovative programs that are not funded by the state. We help with after-school programs in the special needs schools, vocational college so that people with disabilities can choose their path in life, nursing daycare where we care for people who have very severe disabilities. Women with disabilities and girls are 40% more likely to be sexually abused. We teach women and girls about their bodies, about society, and it's also a self-empowerment project. We're trying to teach people to love themselves because everybody counts. And we've all been put on this earth for a reason.
It's amazing the work you do and powerful the focus that it is. That's a blessing and that's what's needed.
Yes.
How can our viewers get a hold of Chimes Israel? How can they donate? How can they be a part of what you're doing?
It's chimesisrael.org.il. The IL is for Israel. And then you can just click on the English, and we have a whole beautiful English website there.
As Christians, we're called to share the love of God by doing whatever we can. And I pray that others who are watching this interview will be stirred in their heart to do something, to take action, and to help with what you're doing, because it sounds amazing. And I know you have an amazing heart as well.
Thank you. What we're doing on the ground cannot exist without help.
Yes.
And so anyone who does donate, they are really helping. They are really giving.
Real.
And it's like they're doing the work themselves. So it's
same blessing, I believe, in heaven.
I do too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We hope that you've been saving the contact info on all of these amazing nonprofits that actively serve and support the nation of Israel. Our final nonprofit is Vision for Israel. It's run by none other than Barry Siegel, longtime friend of Zola Levitt Ministries.
Barry and Batya, his wife, used to perform singing while Zola played his musical instruments on our television show, Zola Levitt Presents. Now, Vision for Israel, they raise funds and build bomb shelters, donating supplies, food, diapers, anything for people in need in Israel.
So if you didn't know, it's time to learn about this amazing outreach and what they do for the land of Israel.
I have a very special pleasure today to introduce what I would call the OG Messianic Jew, the godfather of Messianic Judaism, connected to Zola Levitt Ministries. Barry Siegel, thank you for joining us today.
Shalom, and thank you. It's great to be with you guys.
Your nonprofit organization, Vision for Israel, could you tell our audience really what does Vision for Israel do?
Well, Vision for Israel today is a nonprofit organization, both based in the United States and Israel. Israel's the central place, and 3 other nations as well, where we have branch offices. But the real story behind it is in 1993, the Lord really impressed upon my heart, on my chest, in my mind, in a vision, and I realized the Lord wants to do something with us. And I was reading in Proverbs, and it says, without a vision, the people perish. And that struck a chord in me. And so the spring of 1994, we finally settled the issue. We established a nonprofit in Israel and simultaneously in the United States. So at first we were helping lone soldiers, because I had been one who had no family in Israel, and I served in the IDF. And then the other was new immigrants. There was all sorts of new immigrants, particularly from the former Soviet Union countries coming in. And so at that point, that's how we started, from the basement of our home. But 2 years later, in February 25th, I think it was 1996, we came back from a music ministry tour of South Africa. And we got into the taxi early in the morning, and he turned on the news. And a bus number 18 in Jerusalem on Jaffa Road had just been blown up by a mass suicide bomber. Well, on that bus was the bus our older daughter usually took towards her high school in the morning. So we raced home, just pressing the driver, do your best to get us home. Raced upstairs, and thank God she never left the house that morning. She was waiting for us. But 3 of her fellow students from school, they were all in the same high school class, were all murdered that morning. About 24 people were murdered that morning on that bus, and over 40 injured. 2 weeks later, another bus number 18 that ran through our neighborhood, same thing happened, and another friend of our daughter's was murdered. So from then on, we decided that's it. We're somehow going to reduce our presence in the business world, and we're pressing forward with humanitarian aid and giving it everything we can. And so we began to visit the victims of terror attacks, the families who had suffered, who were survivors of many of these attacks. Ever since then, of course, the work has grown. In 1998, we opened the first actual warehouse in the Judean hills around Jerusalem. Within the next 2 years after that, we had 3 warehouses all next to each other, and one was specifically for medical and emergency aid. We opened up in 2018 the new facility called the Millennium Center. Somebody asked me, why do you call it the Millennium Center? I said, well, it says that Yeshua's coming back. He's going to rule and reign in the millennium period, and I want to present this building as a gift to him so that God, whoever he chooses, will be able to dispense humanitarian aid to the ends of the earth. And so that's what our vision is. That's what we're doing. And so now, to sum up our project, basically we're working together with the Holocaust survivors. There's only 115,000 left alive in Israel. And
that's more than I thought. Wow.
Passing away rapidly, you know. And because they're in their upper 80s, 90s, and some over 100 years old.
Wow.
But their resilience is amazing. And then working with victims of terror attacks. In just a couple weeks, we're going to have another forum party for about 400 victims of terror attacks. We do this every year. It's for us like a serious event, and we totally change the whole demeanor of the place. It's really fun, you know, and to be with kids who just love to hug on you, and you know, it brings me to tears, basically, because that's exactly what we're supposed to do. It says faith without works is dead. True religion before God and the Father is this: to take care of the orphans and the widows in their time of need. And there's so many other scriptures. Job 29 talks about being the feet to the lame, and to being eyes to the blind, and to causing the widow to jump for joy. When I see the Holocaust ladies dancing, and they dance really well, actually. Wow. You know, and it's amazing. It just brings tears. And we have a Pack to School project where we've already provided for over 300,000 children in Israel brand new school packs with their supplies. We just finished installing 500 bomb safety shelters in Israel across the northern and southern borders. And we've donated many ambulances, emergency vehicles, and we're feeding the poor and the needy and providing lots of financial assistance through vouchers. Every year we also now give back to the victims of terror attacks, especially the younger people, college grants in the form of finances. And this year was more unusual than ever before because 60% of our recipients were all survivors of the Nova Festival in the South. And one guy lifted his shirt and you saw the bullet wounds because he had bullets that had gone into him. And somebody else came, her brother was murdered there by her. Another one still had the bullet in his leg. Our greatest needs, of course, is providing for the reservists, who some have served over 200, 300, 400, 500 days. Recently, one lone soldier, like I was when I came to Israel, committed suicide. He had been in serving over 500 days, but you have to imagine the emotional toll. So I believe October 7th, 2023 was a radical quantum shift in the spiritual psyche and soul of the Jewish people in Israel. I think something is changing from inside. God is doing open heart surgery right now.
We want to know how we can help, how our audience can help Vision for Israel. How can we get a hold of your ministry and donate?
We have a website, visionforisrael.com. People can donate online. They can see the projects we're doing. I really believe the principle of Genesis 12, you know, I will bless those that bless thee and curse those that curse thee. And even though we're Jewish, I still feel we have a responsibility to be the leaders in doing that very thing. I think this next decade will really show us an incredible amount of God's mercy and his love being poured out, that we'll see the hearts of the nation of Israel melt before him, both Jews and Arabs and our Druze neighbors and everybody around us. We want to see them all saved.
If you've ever wondered, how can I tangibly help Israel. Because we obviously prayer is at the heart of everything, but if you have a tangible desire to help Israel and you want to see something that's physically happening, bomb shelters, feeding, all the different things, this is the ministry to do so. So make sure you visit that website and be a part of changing Israel today.
Thank you, Barry, so much for joining
Thank you.
us today.
Bless you. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. We've seen some amazing individuals and organizations today, and now you know how you can reach out and help the Jewish people. They're struggling with daily needs for food, water, shelter, survival in the land of Israel right now. We're asking you to pray and ask the Holy Spirit how you can be a part, whether it's prayer, donating your time, whether it's you're donating your funds to these organizations. You can always donate to Zola Levitt Ministries directly because we support these many organizations with our benevolence funds as well.
That's right. And as the Bearded Bible Brothers, we do more than just physically and emotionally supporting the people of Israel. We want to support them spiritually by leading them to Yeshua. That's really our heart's desire, is to declare the gospel to the nations of the earth, to the Jew first and then to the Gentile. You know, Matthew 28:19-20 says, "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything that I have commanded you." And we love to speak the truth in love. And that's why we have our broadcast television program, Bearded Bible Brothers. We reach out on social media. We do everything we can using the advanced technology that God has given us to reach the world with the message of love and hope in Yeshua, our Messiah.
So that's what we want. We want people to know Yeshua. We want them to make him their Lord and Savior. So to be a part of this ministry, it's super easy. We've got every kind of technology you can think of. Go to beardedbiblebros.com. You can donate there. Call 1-800-WONDERS. You can donate there. Did you know that you can go any of these different places on social media and contact us on how you can be a part of joining this ministry to lead people to Yeshua? Time's coming to a close. We don't have all of this time that you may think you have. No, the end is near. And in this last times, the harvest that we bring in for Yeshua, that last person, it's worth every bit of effort that you could possibly make. So, as we go, don't forget to Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Our resource this week, the book What Should We Think About Israel? How do you separate fact from fiction in the Middle East conflict? Theologian, archaeologist, and research author Randall Price provides objective facts about Israel's past, present, and future. Look past the heated debates and discern for yourself what is important to know about Israel and how that affects you today. Contact us and ask for the book, What Should We Think About Israel?
Did you know the Bearded Bible Brothers is an outreach of Zola Levitt Ministries? That means we are entirely donor funded. Consider giving at levitt.com. You can also join the Bearded Bible Bonanza to access additional content at patreon.com/Bearded Bible Bonanza. Please support our mission to spread the gospel of Yeshua by subscribing to our social media and sharing our online messages. As always, pray for the peace of Jerusalem.